Hey guys, welcome. Hope you had a good week and hope today's going to be really good for you. And it'll be, sort of super benefits, and we always want to make it practical skills that mean something. Speaking of practical, what are the benefits of role play, and why do I love doing role plays when I'm talking, and what good are they? Lots of good. Now, let me talk a little bit about this. You know what role plays are. We talk about them all the time and train them about them all the time in the Institute. But I love them, and I see great benefit when I'm doing presentations. I basically have tripled my frequency of doing role plays as a part of my talk over the past 5 years. When in doubt, I'll just say I'd like to do a role play, and I'd like to have, like, at the end of my talk, let's structure maybe 10, 15 minutes that I can do a couple of those, and it just goes crazy. You got to know what you're doing. You can be a role play coach also if you go to the Townsend Now website, and we can take you through that, and you can sign up and be a role play coach, or you can just get role play training here with us. Lots of ways to do that. But let me give you a definition. A role play is a conversation to help with a conversation. Ha. But it really is. It's a conversation to help you with an upcoming conversation. Role plays are basically a training conversation which will prepare you for a difficult conversation. Nobody role plays about a great conversation that they're just going to love. They role play about hard things that are up to coming. The more I've done, my speaker ratings, they were already pretty good to begin with, but my speaker ratings have gone up because of this, because nobody else does them, and they just bring so much life. Here's some of the benefits for them. A role play conversation up in front of the stage when you call somebody up, it gets their attention. I mean, it wakes them up. You're not just the talking head telling stories. You got another person up there that, hey, something's going to happen, because we're all interested in relationships. We're interested in relationships the same way we're interested in train wrecks. Like, oh gosh, who knows what's going to happen here? They're also spontaneous. There's something really kind of cool about the fact that you got somebody who doesn't know this material and you're taking them through somebody. So you've got a whole new experience. Not only is it spontaneous, it's one of their own. They came from the audience. They're sitting there in the conference room or the workshop room, and they volunteered, or most of the time somebody volunteered them, like get up there. And people go, that's like me. They can identify with them. She has my struggle. He has my struggle. So it's very, very authentic. It's funny. Great role plays are funny when then, as you know, you play the person that you're the healthy Jim or Sally when you introduce yourself to Jim or Sally, and the role play person plays the dysfunctional person or the toxic person in their life. And when they roll their eyes and they go, oh my gosh, you're treating me like a jerk again, and you go, really, how can I do that? And they don't have an answer. Everybody starts laughing. So it's like, it brings so much different energy, especially at the end of the content. You don't start off a talk at the beginning with a role play. You wait till you've delivered your message and then say, let's talk about it. By the way, I'm not talking about a talk about role plays and doing role plays. Sure. I'm talking about a talk about anything. You can be talking about strategy. You can be talking about vision and mission. You can be talking about culture, ops, nuts and bolts, IT. Finish up with role play and say, now let's just talk about some things you struggle with or you're challenged with the people you're working with, your customers. Everybody loves it, so don't worry about what was before. Here's another one. This might be just me, but you have no idea where it'll go. I don't want to be bored to death. I don't want my audience to be bored to death. And it's kind of a risk because somebody could be crazy, but it could go anywhere. And people are like this because is this person going to jump up and down, or is it going to be boring, or is it going to make Townsend look like an idiot, which has certainly happened. I mean, one time before I learned how to do this, I said, just anybody come up, and I didn't kind of stack the deck the right way, and a guy came up and said, he was really a competitive guy, and it was sort of like, I'm going to show you a dysfunctional person. I'm going to show you the most dysfunctional, he didn't say this, but I felt it, the most dysfunctional person in my life. So he role-played somebody that should be in federal prison with medication, and nothing worked. I couldn't fix the guy's personality in a 3-minute role play, and then he walked off. It totally failed. And the whole audience got depressed because it sucked and I failed. So I always tell people, hey, just give me somebody moderately dysfunctional who, can hear and listen and talk at the same time so we all get a good experience. But we had no idea where it goes. What people really love also is the universal skills that you ask them for. So you make them a part of the growth group. Once the person's finished and you thanked them and thanks for talking about your friend or your colleague or your client and your boss or whatever. Just say, okay, what are the universal skills? Now, this isn't just about somebody who's late all the time. This isn't just about somebody who never stops talking, or somebody who's rigid or emotionally disconnected. This is about all of us. So what did you learn that you can be? I always say useful, because I don't want this just to be entertainment. We're not entertainment. We're delivering value. What can you find useful? And I just write on the board, universal skills. Here's some things that people would say. Well, you moved toward that person when they were criticizing you. I move away. But you kind of weren't defensive. You moved toward them and said, tell me more about what a jerk I am or whatever. That's new for me. Here another person said, you redirected back the original problem. You didn't let it go off into a million rabbit trails. You kind of said, let's get back to this issue. That was really good to hear. Another person says, you didn't get emotionally hooked and escalate. You didn't, get upset or defensive or mad. You just stayed nice. And they love that, and they go, these are the conversations I need to have. I found that it drives them to their own similar themes of conversations. You know what happens? They come up later with questions, they call my office later, they think about it, it sort of sticks in their head. That's why role plays are good. So learn it, get the skill, be a good role play person, and then add it to your toolbox. It's really good for presentations. All right.